Hi, my name is Jeff Pfeiffer. I'm an attorney at the Lopez Law Group. I specialize in personal injury cases, whether it be auto accidents, slip and falls, dog bites, any other situation where you may have been injured due to somebody's negligence. I do these podcasts to try to give people more information before they officially come in and sit down during a consultation. A lot of people are nervous. A lot of people show up with a lot of questions. So the more information I can give prior to you calling the law firm, hopefully the easier it will be when you get here. One of those questions that I typically get during that initial consultation is just why should I seek compensation now? Why should I go after someone for the auto accident that just happened? I'm feeling okay right now. I am a little sore, but I don't know if I'm really ready to jump into a lawsuit. I don't know if I'm ready to go after the insurance company. And the answer to that question is, if you don't do it now and you wait, it may be too late. You've probably just been involved in an auto accident if you're watching this, or you were a victim of a slip and fall. Maybe you were bit by a dog. What a lot of people don't know is that there are timelines with regard to how long you have to actually pursue someone for that auto accident, for that slip and fall, for that dog bite. The law has just changed in Florida. Now, if you've been a victim of an auto accident, you actually only have 2 years to decide whether you're actually going to move forward with a case and with a lawsuit against somebody. So ultimately, I get a lot of people that come in and say, I'm feeling okay right now. Let me give it some time. Let me see if I start to feel worse. The problem with that is that if you wait and you wait 2 years to do it, 2 years in one day, and then you decide, what, now I'm starting to feel something, or I went to a doctor and they're telling me that I have a herniated disc, that must have been a result of the auto accident. If you've waited any longer than 2 years, then at that point you're not going to be able to pursue that person for those injuries. So it's better to do it now, while that accident is still fresh, while it just happened. That's the last thing that we want, is for somebody to sit back and wait and say, I'm really not in pain now, and then 2 years from now find out that they have a nerve issue, they have a herniated disc somewhere that they didn't have before, especially for somebody who's never had a history of any sort of trauma to their neck or to their back. 2 years is not a long time. You may go for a checkup or to an orthopedic doctor, alleging some sort of pain at some point in the future, and that doctor may tell you have a herniation. You have a herniation in your neck. Were you involved in an auto accident? And you may think, I was involved in an accident, but that was about 2 years ago. And that doctor may tell you that you're now suffering from that pain because of that auto accident that you had 2 years ago. But because you decided not to take action at the time, and you decided to wait to see if it was going to get better, and ultimately you weren't really feeling any of the effects of that for 2 years, at that point it's too late. You're not going to be able to go after that at-fault party or that insurance company. You've gone too long without taking action, and you would be forbidden from making any sort of claim or filing a lawsuit. You have 2 years to file a lawsuit from the date of the accident. It used to be 4 years. The law in Florida had just recently changed. It now has limited you from 4 years to 2 years, which means that it's even more imperative now that you contact a personal injury attorney as soon as possible. 4 years used to be, you had some time to kind of sit around and see if it was going to get better, if things were, if you were going to get worse, if you slowly started to feel pain over the next year or two. But now you really don't have that. That time is kind of gone. If you don't take action within those first 2 years, you're going to be forever barred from making a claim for those injuries. So that's why ultimately, when people ask me, should I do this now? Why should I seek compensation for my injuries? It's always good to reach a settlement, even if you're not feeling the effects now. Let's say that you're only a little sore, and you do have a herniated disc, but you're a young person, and you're still lively and you're still able to do things, but you do have that that herniated disc in your neck, and it is showing up on an MRI. And why do you need to do it now? Well, you may not need that money now, but whatever money you may get out of a settlement, you can put aside to take care of future medical care. Let's say, if you're 30 years old, 10 years from now, when you hit 40 years old, if you take that money that you get out of the settlement that's meant to compensate you for your pain and suffering, the body deteriorates with age. Maybe when you're in your 40s, that area that sustained trauma during the accident starts to get worse. You start to feel that pain more. That herniated disc starts to affect you more. Then at that point, the money that you received out of that lawsuit that was meant to compensate you for your injuries can be used to apply to treatment that you might need for your neck and that herniated disc at a later date. So, that's why I always tell everybody, if you're going to do something, it's best to do it now. I would not wait to do it. Also, the other problem is that the longer that you wait to seek treatment following an auto accident, the worse it could be for your case. If you were in an auto accident today, but you waited a year to go see a doctor for that pain, you're going to face a very heavy defense from an insurance company that's going to allege that anything could have happened in that year that is actually causing your injuries. So if you're going to do something, it's best to do it now. I would not wait a year to call somebody. You need to jump on it right away. Causation is a big issue. You can get an MRI within a month or two. They can tell you that those injuries that you suffered are directly related to that accident, rather than waiting a year and then going to see a doctor and then saying, well, listen, it's been a year. We're not sure whether this damage is caused by something that may have happened throughout that year or whether it's related to the car accident. So that's why you should seek compensation as soon as possible following an accident. You may need that money in the future, and it's always important to do it within those 2 years, because you don't want to lose your right to move forward and file against somebody if needed. So if you find yourself the victim of an auto accident, if you've slipped and fallen on somebody's property, if somebody's dog bit you, or anything related to any sort of injury that you've suffered due to anybody's negligence, give us a call. We're here. This is the Lopez Law Group. This is what we do. We're here 24/7. We'd be more than happy to have a sit down with you and talk about what your options may be. Our number is 727-933-0015. Thanks.